This is your moment. This is the moment that you stop waiting, stop shrinking, stop making excuses, stop almost showing up. This today, right now, this second, this is the moment. Today is the line in the sand. Hi, my name is Steve Kidd. I am a third generation minister, an international best-selling author of 37 books and counting. I have had the wonderful privilege of working with nearly 5,000 people, helping them write, publish, market their books to bestseller, and everything that goes beyond that. What I really do, though, is I really help people be seen, be the established authority. I mean, we can make you a bestseller. You can guarantee it. Bestseller is a day one launch strategy, though. Bestseller is the beginning. I wrote the book on it, literally. My 20th book is called Bestseller is Only the Beginning. There was even somebody that made a comment on it, and they're like, I would have loved to have had you tell me more because all it talks about is that bestseller is only the beginning. I was like, that was the point of the book. And, when they got it, they got it. And for people who don't understand it, that's okay too. This isn't, a place of judgment. It just simply is a matter of that one simple concept. And that's that absolutely, from a marketing standpoint, you must have a bestseller in order to maximize who you are and what you do in the world. It is a mandatory first step in building your authority, visibility, and profit in all you do as being a bestseller. But it's the starting line. It's day one. That's why Willie and I wrote the book Magnetize Media to help you understand that now you've got to be visible. You've got to be the authority. You've got to claim the authority. You've got to get visible in a way that people can't ignore you, that you're always there. And you're going to have to be the one that does it. Nobody's going to come and grab the videos off of. I saw a really great post from a friend of mine that's a coach, and she was talking about the fact that way too many of us have tons of content, a lot of it even AI generated, on our computers that we're not doing anything with. Most of us don't live in a I wonder what I should say. I don't have anything to say. I don't have any content world. That's really not where most of us are at these days. Most of us are in the place where we're just not using, just not sharing, just not maximizing the content that we have, or we're putting it out there in the wrong's the wrong word, in ways that aren't powerfully impacting the people that they're meant to impact, because we're not claiming it. We just kind of squeak it out there. I see this happen all the time with books. People do a book announcement rather than a book launch, meaning that they've been working for a week, a month, a day, 6 months, 10 years. I worked with one lady that had been working on her book for 20 years. They've been working all that time on the book. And really, other than some of their closest personal friends, nobody knew. Nobody knows about the book. They haven't been sharing it. They haven't been, putting out little excerpts of it. They haven't been reading it to friends or things like that. They don't have a group of people that are demanding. I have an author whose book is coming out this Saturday. Amazingly, Linda Verisco. It's book 2 of The Girl with $1 Million Smile. I don't mind giving Linda a free call out because I know that that she has followed many of the things that I've done, and I know that her book's worthwhile, and I know that just about every day she's out on TikTok. She has a really good TikTok and Instagram following. She's out there and she's reading excerpts from the book. She's talking about the book. She started out with the book when she was writing it. She was actually incarcerated at the time she was writing it. And she tells about that in this book too. So if you want to know why, then you got to get book 2 and The Girl with $1 Million Smile. This book is all actually called The Journey to Mr. Right. A really, really good book. and follows up completely. If you haven't read The Girl with $1 Million Smile, you want to read that first so that you don't jump in and be like, oh, wait a minute, I didn't know that she was doing this. And why is she hanging on the side of the wall like Spider Woman? You're going to want to read book one first. But she's been putting it out there, and she has a group of people that are clamoring at her. They're like, when are you going to put out book two? I mean, she was talking to me the other day about, maybe I'm just going to hold off and not put out book two for a little while. And I was like, people are demanding it of you. People are begging you to bring it out. Why would we wait? And so we talked through that. And I understood her reasoning for it. I'm not dissing her at all in that. There was some things she needed to talk through. People want to be clamoring for who you are and what you're doing. The problem is that you're either not sharing it, you're doing it really small, or you're not doing it where they are. So I want to draw the line in the sand first. Let's draw the line in the sand. I am no longer, from this day, invisible. I am moving into visibility. Okay? That's step one. You gotta draw that line in the sand, because here's the thing. You've got the talent, you've got the heart, you've got the proof. You probably have the content on your computer or somewhere else. Now it's time to get visible and get the recognition to match your awesome amazingness. So, you are unseen, even though you're incredible. But unfortunately, we are playing small. We aren't realizing it. And I want you to hear me say this, because I know that I was playing small. I've admitted it every day of every one of these things. I've come out and said, hey, the truth of the matter is I was playing small. And prior to that, before some of the things that I've done over the course of the last 4 or 5 years, prior to having made all the people that I've made bestsellers, all that kind of stuff, I was playing even smaller than that. I was, like you said, a zombie is what I use in my book and have talked about many, many times. Hiding from the world, licking my wounds of things that happened in my life. Often even some things that other people did that I had no control over, and living as, for lack of a better term, really as a victim. I didn't really ever claim that, that victimhood on me, but that's really how I was showing up. Less than. If your 100% is more amazing than anybody else in the whole world's 100%, show up that way. Because, and I want to follow that up by saying, when you are being you, your 100% you is more incredible in that lane than anybody else could ever fathom to meet. It doesn't matter about your intelligence level or your skill level or your education level or any of those kind of things. You are incredible. But without realizing it, we tend to play small. I remember it was actually a year ago now. Can't believe how much time's gone by. I was watching a video. In fact, it might have been a little more than a year ago, because I think it was at the beginning of 2024. I was watching Gary Vaynerchuk, Gary V, and he was talking about how, with the way the economy is right now is not the time to shrink on social media. Now is the time to double down. And he went through and talked out a whole thing. And he was talking about posting 60 posts a day. Now he's actually talking about doing, 6-ish across about 10 different social medias. And we can talk in other times about that. I'm going to kind of focus it on one, but put that number 60 in your mind really clearly. Because are you posting 60 times a day? Are you seen and heard and visible and valuable and out there so much that people are sick of your next post? Have you ever had anybody actually say, I think you're posting too much? And when you're posting, what are you posting? Are you sharing the real of you? Or are you just putting out little memes? I remember back in the day, one of the things that a highly respected person, and I'm not dissing them at all because it worked back then, okay? But, one of the first things that they suggested doing, and this was back back in the early days of Twitter, they were suggesting there was actually an automated program that you could, on a daily basis, build your Twitter following. It's since been banned. You can't use it anymore. But so you could exponentially build your following every single day. But their concept was, to basically just go and find quotable quotes from, famous people and post 1 to 3 quotes every single day. And that was essentially starting out what they were recommending is just, pour this good out into the world. And for a while, that really was an effective strategy. There was one problem with it back then, even more so now, because I know some of you are still quoting other people and putting out memes of other people's stuff. And I'm not saying stop doing that. Keep doing that, but you need to add to that because none of that is you. None of that gives you visibility. It gives you an increase in the algorithm. There is a real process to it. If you take Saturdays and Sundays off, you want to do an engagement post on a Monday that just gets people to just, like and comment on something, and do those things. And you need to do that to wake back up the algorithm because you took a couple of days off. That's why, for the most part, I almost always post 7 days a week because I don't have time every Monday to re-wake the algorithm because over the weekend I was invisible. I was gone. Now I'm in a special place in that, I'm currently single, and all my kids are grown and have lives of their own. So I can work 7 days a week and I love what I do. So I can do that. So I'm not saying that you have to work 7 days a week, but visibility is about being visible. The more you're out there, the more you're out there. So number one, you have to be posting things that are your unique brilliance. Okay, yes. And I'm going to break it down to you really simply here in just a second, but I want you to get the concept. Yes, you need to be doing likes and comments and things like that and interacting. It's not all just about bombarding the world with your words and deeds and thoughts. And yes, that's where a book comes in so powerfully because then you're the best-selling author on the subject and you can do quotes and memes and stuff like that from your best-selling book. Beginning to see why that bestseller is only the beginning now, right? But in the end, you've got to be visible. And the only way you're going to be visible is to be visible. Now, you can do some visibility via words. You can put some words out there that are your words. You can even create memes and put that it's a quote from you. I did a book the other day with somebody who, in their book, they had quotes at the beginning of their chapters, like many people do in their books, and all the quotes were quotes from them. Thought it was kind of cool that they did it that way. And you can definitely do that. You should do that. Okay? But at some point, if you want to be the seen, recognized, known authority, if you want to get booked on stages, you want to get booked on podcasts, you want to be known, seen, heard, get paid, make an impact, you've got to be visible. You've got to be actually seen. Hey, Nolia, I'm so glad you're here with us. Yes, we're going to make you visible, Nolia. And it starts right here. It starts by making comments if you're in here live with us. But it also moves from there to you having to accept and take up the charge of being visible. You have to not be willing to accept invisibility. And some of that is going to be very, very scary because I'm going to keep talking to you about picking up your phone. Mine has my headphones hooked up to it right now. Pick up your phone and go live. Pick up your phone and record, on Instagram. It's so easy to do an Instagram reel. Turn on Instagram, hit the little plus button, boom. And it can be simple. Right now, you don't have to go on for a half an hour like I'm going to. Okay? You don't have to be that level of a public speaker right now, but you have to be seen. And in order to be seen, You've got to be seen. It doesn't matter whether your hair looks great or your hair looks horrible. It doesn't matter whether or not you're like, maybe I should have shaved before this live. Or you are in the best, most perfect makeup you ever done. None of that is what's important to your visibility. Down the road, we will talk about the strategies of, how you're going to be seen and all the different kind of things. And I'll probably even bring my buddy Willie J on and have him talk about branding yourself and being known as being the person who is. Like, for example, with Willie, almost always in all of his cover photos, many, many, many cover photos that he's been in, he almost always is wearing sunglasses. Now some of that is, being an artist and that kind of thing. And part of it is just his brand. Okay. Yesterday, when I did the live, I was wearing my t-shirt, which I don't normally do in lives, but I was wearing it because it's my Thriving Bestsellers t-shirt. It has that same logo that you can see over here in this, I guess it's this way, in this side thing, for Thriving Bestsellers, because I love my logo and I wanted people to be able to see that. And I'm not saying you could wear old coveralls. That could be your shtick. That could be your niche. That could be your thing. It's just about being known. You got to brand yourself. You got to be visible. And then, and here's the big one, you got to be consistent. You see, the simple visibility shift, as I say in the thing, I'm going to read it to you exactly. The simple visibility shift that unlocks traction, clarity, and momentum. You know what it is? It's really simple. I even after writing this description, and I do use ChatGPT to help me write descriptions and stuff, and there's a whole long process to be able to do it so that it doesn't just sound stupid, which many ChatGPT written things do. I ask it, it's like, all right, what is the simple visibility shift? Knowing everything that you know about me and all my books and everything that I've written and everything that I've said and all the stuff that we have in this whole thread. And I've got this long thread that we've been doing for a couple of weeks now, just on this one topic of visibility. What is the simple visibility shift that unlocks traction, clarity, and momentum? And it said, you got to show up, you got to be seen, and you got to do it consistently. Does that sound like something you've heard over the course of the last few days? You got to be seen and you got to do it consistently. People need to know they can count on. No, Leah, if you want a specific tip, pick a time of the day, and it doesn't have to be long. It can be 5 or 10 seconds. But pick a time of a day and commit to consistently picking up that phone and saying something to the world that's encouraging, to the people that you want to reach. It can just be a few words. I'm here to help you get better at fill in the blank. And in fact, that is your task for today. I want you to pick up your phone, go live. Actually, I'm going to back up a step. First, I want you to commit to a time. I'm asking you to go to your calendar and block off. So let's block off right now 15 minutes. You only need about 5 seconds. Okay, but to give you some prep time and some stress time and some change your mind and not going to do it time, and then you do it anyway, right? Okay, 15 minutes consistently every day. So we know, like, for example, and I posted this morning because I knew I had a meeting that I knew was going to run over. Willie and I were meeting and we were talking some business stuff and some money things. And I knew that we wouldn't end right at 12 o'clock. And that's why I posted on my Facebook this morning. I'm going to be going live just a little bit after noon. But Monday I went at 12:30 because I had an appointment that didn't end until 12:30. You know that in the noon hour Central Time, I'm going to come out here and go live. Okay, and so if you need to block off a whole hour, if you need to give yourself, right and left side, bumpers, like those little rails when the kids go bowling so that they can't get it in the gutter, that's fine. But at least block off 15 minutes every single day. All right, now I'm going to give you grace. You can do 5 days a week. You don't have to work 7 days a week like I do. All right, that's fine. That you're going to consistently show up. All right, and then what you're going to do in that is just use that simple phrase. I'm here to help you fill in the blank. I am committed to helping you. I am an expert at helping people do. I mean, right there, just if you go back and you listen to the recording, because I did a couple others before, that's like 4 or 5 entry sentence stems that you can use. You've got the whole first week, and you really only need 4 or 5 more words after that. Now, for those of you that are in the group, and Lee, I know you are part of the group, and I appreciate that. We're going to start breaking some of that stuff down in the group. I'm even going to be sharing next week. I'm going to be sharing for free only to the members of the group. I have to rebuild it, or I do it sooner. And so it might be week after next, just depending on what my time looks like. But I'm going to be sharing for free my whole entire Influencer 101 course that I normally charge people for. I'm going to give it to everybody in the group for free to just go through and learn how to be an influencer. Okay, so number 1, you've got to commit to a specific time. Number 2, during that time block every day, you need to go live. Can be even just 5 seconds. Now, if you've got more to share and you can go longer, do. And then we'll start talking about using Descript to break that up. If you've noticed on my Facebook this last week, there's the long one and then there's at least one short one. And if you happen to be one of my followers on TikTok, I'm doing 2 or 3 TikToks because TikTok likes having more posts. And because I'm building a real following there. I had one of the posts that had like 600 people that saw it. It's pretty cool, huh? It can happen really quickly. Okay? Now, I don't want you to count how many people do or don't. And if nobody looks at it at this point, that is totally fine. All right. Month 1, if you get to the place where you're putting this 5-second video out or however long it is, and you get one person that likes, comments, or posts on it, even if that one person is your mom, you'll notice on just about every video I ever do, my mom is going to like it. That's cool. That helps your algorithm. That lets Amazon, or that lets Facebook rather know, that lets LinkedIn know, hey, this is stuff that people want to see more of. And eventually you'll build from there. So if you even at the end of the first 30 days have one person that is consistently, or you have one out of a group of people, you have one like, comment, or share for your post, that's all you need to set for yourself for a goal for the first 30 days. We're all assuming we're starting from 0 and we're building from there. You've probably got more followers than that, and it'll probably go faster than that. But let's not oversell ourselves. To be visible means you have to be visible and you have to be consistent. So you're going to block off that time. You're going to go live. Yes, commitment to consistency is the ingredient for success. When people know they can count on you to be their voice and their answer for X, they may not need it today. Have you ever driven by a billboard for I live out in the middle of nowhere. There are no billboards out here, okay? I can promise you that, okay? But have you ever driven by a billboard, and it's a service that you don't ever need? I love driving in South Dakota. Anybody that hasn't ever driven I-90 west across South Dakota Everybody needs to go get in their car and do it right now. No, not really. But at some point in your life, I hope you really can. Because I tell you what, there is a store called Wall Drugs. Many of you have heard of Wall Drugs, even if you've never driven I-90 across South Dakota. Every few miles, you're going to see another billboard about Wall Drugs and one of the things. And it's going to be everything from free water to the dinosaur exhibit they've got to food, all kinds of things. Okay. And by the time you've driven, Wall Drugs is about 50 miles, 50 minutes ish east of Rapid City, meaning that you're most of the way through South Dakota. There's still a little bit after Rapid City in South Dakota if you're going beyond that. But by the time you get to the city of Wall and it says next exit Wall Drugs, you're going to want to go. There's a couple other billboards like that, Reptile Gardens. Now you have to be into reptiles, snakes and all the other reptiles in order to want to go to. And there's a bunch of those kind of things. And more than any highway I've ever driven on, I-90 has that in consistency down. Every so often you're going to see another Wall Drug billboard. There's only one Wall, South Dakota in the whole entire world. They have billboards in Tokyo, Japan. People know that if you want to go see Wall Drugs, you got to go to Wall, South Dakota. I wish I could remember what exit number it was. Off of Interstate 90 in South Dakota, like I said, about 50 minutes east of Rapid City. Consistency, showing up. When people see you show up, then they know who you are. Then you're becoming visible. And then when they're in a conversation with somebody about the thing, I'm going to use me as an example because, by now, those of you that are listening, I help people write, publish, market their books to bestseller. I've done nearly 5,000 books with a 100% success rate. I know I said that real quick because you've heard it all before. When somebody's talking to somebody and that person says, I have a book I've been working on and I'm really struggling with it, or I wish my book was doing better, my name comes to their mind. Oh, hey, you should talk to Steve. I have people all the time that refer people to me. And sometimes the people aren't a good fit or they can't afford my services or those kind of things. Sometimes I can give them one little piece of advice and they can just run with it. And that's fine too. Because that's what it takes to become the go-to expert in your field, is when somebody needs your service, you're going to be the name that they think of. When somebody says to them about your service, they're going to recommend you because they've heard from you and heard about you, and they know exactly who you are and what you do. So I'm going to break it down for you one last time before we leave here, okay? You have to know who you are. If you don't know that, join the group. We're going to help you get clear on who you are. You have to find and define a consistent time that you're going to show up live. I'm talking your face on a video, okay? Now, yes, I the other day gave you permission that you can use LinkedIn Live events, which are our audio. And you can still do that, but you really have to at some point show your face. Because at some point, people are going to want to know you're a real person and not just an AI-generated thing. And there's so much AI stuff out there right now that you're showing up and just being extemporaneously you is powerful. Okay? Consistent time, show up. Okay? And you need to just give. Right now is all about giving. I mean, have a link like I've got in my lower third over here. I'm pointing at where that monitor is versus the direction that it is. Have that, put a link like I'm going to drop right now, the link to, to the invite to come and join our Facebook group. Put it in your description, all those kind of things. But when you're live, just give value. Just tell people, hey, I'm here for you. I want to help you do X. I'm here to help you get better at those kind of things, and do it and have the time and be consistent. Be so that a person can count on. I know that in the 12 o'clock hour, Steve Kidd is going to come on and rant for 15 to what it's going to be more like 30 or 35 minutes about me being visible. Because what you're committing to is who you already are. You just got to show the world, because they want to know you, but only you can show up as you, be you, and show you to the world. So the line's drawn in the sand. We've stepped over it together. And now we're going to commit to showing up and making the difference in this world that only you can make. Thank you. On behalf of the world, thank you for showing up. Till we're together again next time, I hope you have a great week.